When my parents died, I was just 8 years old. A child, too young to understand what death really meant, yet old enough to feel the silence it left behind. After their burial, everyone left. Everyone except my grandmother. She took me in, though she barely had enough to feed herself. Life with her was simple and hard. She sold vegetables by the roadside, her hands always trembling from age, her back bent from years of work. But her heart was gold. For 5 years, we lived in that tiny mud house. Some nights, we shared a single meal. I still remember her whispering, "Rose, one day life will smile at you again." That day came, or so I thought, when my stepsister Emily suddenly appeared. I hadn't seen her since my father's funeral. She was older, elegant, married, with a little boy. She hugged Grandma and told us she wanted to take me to the city. She said she'd give me a proper education, a better life. Grandma's eyes filled with tears. She believed this was my chance. And I was so happy. I didn't know I was walking straight into my own hell. The first few weeks in Emily's home felt like heaven. The city lights, the beautiful furniture, the smell of expensive food. I thought I'd finally been saved. But then things changed. She never mentioned school again. Never bought me books. Instead, she began to command me. "Rose, sweep the floors. Rose, wash the clothes. Rose, cook dinner. Rose, clean the bathrooms." Soon, I realized what I really was in that house. Not a sister. Not even a guest. A servant. Her tone was cold. Her husband looked at me with pity, but never said a word. She made me eat leftovers, and some nights she'd say I didn't deserve a room, that I should sleep outside on the balcony. I cried quietly every night, wishing Grandma could save me. But I knew she couldn't. Her health was failing, and I couldn't go back. So I made myself a promise. One day, I would make Emily regret every tear she made me shed. Years passed. I became invisible in that house, cooking, cleaning, serving. But while they slept, I studied. Emily thought she'd broken me, but she didn't know that every insult became my fuel. Each night, I used her old laptop, the one she said was too slow, and I taught myself how to code. When she turned off the lights, I turned on my dreams. It took years of secret learning, sneaking Wi-Fi from her router, saving coins to buy data, skipping meals to pay for online courses. And one day it happened. I passed my online certification. I was officially a web developer. From there, life began to shift. I took small projects online under a fake name, earned my first $100, then $1,000, then $10,000. 2 years later, I was a secret millionaire, living under her roof. She had no idea that the girl she once called useless had built an empire behind her back. Then came the day everything changed. Her son, my little nephew, broke his leg at school. The doctors said it was a complicated surgery. The bill, beyond what Emily and her husband could ever afford. They begged, borrowed, called every relative. No one could help. I watched her panic, her pride crumble, her voice tremble as she cried, "God, please help me." So I did. The next morning, I went to the hospital. Quietly, I told the doctors I was part of Emily's family, and I paid everything. The surgery, the recovery, even the private room. Then I left, without saying a word. When Emily arrived later, the doctor smiled and said, "Your sister already handled everything." She was confused. "Who?" "Rose," the doctor replied. "She said she's your sister." She froze. Her husband did too. Later that night, when I returned home, she fell to her knees. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Rose, please forgive me. I'm sorry. For everything." Her husband joined her, apologizing over and over. But I said nothing. I looked at her. This woman who once made me sleep outside in the cold, and all I felt was silence. I picked up my small bag, the same one I came with 8 years ago, and I walked out. No screaming, no revenge speech, just silence, the kind that haunts. Because sometimes the loudest revenge is your success. I never saw Emily again. I changed my number, moved away, and went back to my grandmother. When I showed her the new house I bought for her, she cried. She said, "Rose, you did it. You kept your promise." 3 months later, she passed away in her sleep, with a smile on her face. And that day, I realized, revenge doesn't always have to destroy others. Sometimes, it's simply living well enough that your enemies can never forget what they lost. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of a wounded heart. Even in silence, the oppressed are learning, watching, and planning. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the calm success that burns forever. Be careful how you treat people. Life has a way of turning tables. Kindness costs nothing. Cruelty can cost everything. If you were touched by this story, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.